Yeah, I'm in the thick of it, and everybody knows what's up. Welcome back to the Hunterline Last Defense Academy. We're gonna run out of these, these types of, things soon. But, yeah, we did, the Rebellion route, that's what it was called. And now I have to decide where I'm gonna go from here, because really, the world is my oyster. And while I could go back and see what all these do, I think I'm gonna go back. But you'll see. I'm gonna go back, right? I'm gonna go to the Kill Ato timeline. And then I'm gonna go forward to this branch here, where we branched into the killing game. And we're gonna go into not joining the invader hunt. So, yeah, Ato we kill, and then Gaku dies, like, on day 5, maybe. But, you know, a lot of the other characters that we are missing are back alive. So yeah, let's just jump into it. Let's see what happens if we decide not to join the invader hunt. Yeah, I'll do start a day, just to see what's going on, because I do not remember. So it's day 25.
Up and Atom troops, time to rise and shine! Get ready for your 25th day of active service here at Last Defense Academy! Prepare to spend another day. Be ready to give you...
Alright. After waking up to the usual morning announcement, I walked out of my room straight into Tsubasa. Morning, Takumi. Heading to breakfast? Yeah. Hey, can I ask you something? What is it?
Huh?
Do you know what happened to Ava's mask? Ava's mask? Yeah, that thing she was wearing on the battlefield before she revealed her true face. Oh, that. It's being kept somewhere in the garage. Great, thanks. I'll go grab it later. Controller? Okay. Immediately after saying that, the door to the stairwell flung open and Kiyoshika came charging over. She quickly ran over to us with a strained look on her face and said,
Huh?
So something disturbing has been discovered in the classroom on the first floor. Oh my god, I missed you, baby. I missed you. Okay.
Huh?
Something disturbing? You must come immediately. Everyone else is already on their way. I followed Tsubasa and Kiyoshika to the classroom on the first floor, dashing inside upon arrival. What? No way. Not again. It was a repeat of day 4. Somebody had used red spray paint to write something on the digital blackboard again. The only difference was the content of the text. This time it said, "Let's play a killing game." Who found it first? 'Twas I. Upon discovering this foul scene, I immediately set off to inform everybody of it. What were you doing here in the first place? Yes, well, I had wished to retrieve Lady Kurara's mask before breakfast.
Huh?
It had been left on the ceiling catwalk since you flung it here yesterday. Kiyoshika, you shall pay for this later. Kurara was already wearing her mask. She must have retrieved it before the rest of us came running in. Who would write something like this? Isn't it obvious? It's the same bastard who wrote the last threat. The same one who killed Gaku. Are you sure? The handwriting seems a little different. My dear sister's sharp perception pierces through everything. So someone else wrote this? Who? Wait, could it be Ava? No, I don't think that's possible. When I delivered breakfast to her just now, her cage was properly locked. Who has the key? I do. It's the only copy in existence. Also, there's a special IC chip embedded inside that makes it impossible to duplicate. We can think about the author later. I'm more curious of what this killing game is supposed to refer to. Which part of killing game is so hard to understand? It's a game where you kill or be killed! It still doesn't make sense. Who plays? What are the rules? Where? How? When? Why? Suddenly, Shoma raised his voice. Everybody look, there's something on the teacher's desk. This looks like a tape recorder. I guess we should listen to it. I pressed play and an eerie-sounding voice came out of the recorder.
The game has officially begun.
Yeah, I still don't really know who the sponsor is. Like, we found out it was like an ATO, but like
the blackboard says, let's all play a killing
like, I don't know how that
together.
was even possible. And then Tsubasa just kind of stabbed him before.
The name of this game is The Invader Hunt.
The message continued. Anyone willing to participate should gather in the leisure lounge at 7 p.m. All who refuse to join the game will be eliminated. That is all. With those eerie words, the voice stopped. Okay, well, what we found out is that they really needed us to play the game. And, like, the game was dragged out, so they're not going to kill us all at once. Silence prevailed. We could have heard a pin drop. We were all frowning, although nobody said anything. The last note hadn't been a prank. Sirei was destroyed and Gaku was murdered. This note could have been written by the same person. His last words especially kept echoing loudly in my mind. All who refuse to join the game will be eliminated. By the way, Kako, you mentioned something about the handwriting of this message being different from the last. Maybe the culprit deliberately changed it. We should keep that possibility in mind. Too soon to be jumping to conclusions about two different culprits when the MO's the same. So, Gaku's murderer's on the move again? Bleh. Basically, this could be from the same person who killed Gaku. If so, we might be able to find their true identity by joining the game. But that option came with major risk. The monster who destroyed Sirei and slaughtered Gaku was behind it after all. Join the game despite the risk, or try to keep everyone as safe as possible. We had until 7 p.m. to decide what to do, but it didn't seem prudent to delay our decision until the last minute. We had to stay united. All of us. For that to happen, I had to clearly express my opinion on the matter first, as team leader. But what was our best option? Should we join the game, or ignore it completely? I thought long and hard about what to say, and then I made my decision. Alright. Let's see what route this is.
Guys, here's what I think. I'm not going to join this invader hunt thing.
Right, of course not. A rational decision. I hope you can all follow my lead in this. I know I will. There's nothing to be afraid of if we all reject it together. Hey, don't speak for everyone just yet. What, you mean you're joining? Of course! I'll never get a chance to live out my fantasies like this again! Besides, the name Invader Hunt makes the game sound like it's going to be an absolute blast! I'm with Takumi on this one. You'll find me playing that game over my dead body. This Invader Hunt is just a culprit trying to trick us into believing it'll be fun. But it's clearly stated on the blackboard that this is a killing game. The recording said as much too. I'll follow Takumi's lead as well. It's against my artistic principles to kill for entertainment. This message don't make sense anyway. The sponsor said those not in the game will be eliminated. But we'd still get eliminated sooner or later if we did join. Don't be stupid. Nobody has to die if we win, right? Right? Darmy, are you listening to yourself? Huh? You're taking this I love killing games persona a little too far, aren't you? I'm not. I'm just saying what I really think. Darmy's pigtails swayed as she vigorously shook her head in denial, but there was definitely some uncertainty in her eyes. What about you, Hiroko? You haven't said anything yet. Either choice is fine with me. What do you mean? I'm not interested in this game at all. I am, however, interested in finding out the sponsor's identity. They'll make their move eventually, whether we join this silly game or not.
Aha!
That's when we'll swoop in and bring that sicko down, right? That's more or less what I was thinking. Then we have an answer. Yes, we're not going to join the invader hunt. Darmy, you don't mind, do you? I do mind, but it's not like I can play a killing game by myself. Fine. Fine, I'll go with the majority. Alright. After that, we decided to stay together until the stipulated time. We didn't know what might happen, and there was always the possibility the sponsor was actually one of us. Staying together meant we could prevent the sponsor from trying anything. I didn't tell anyone about that second reason, though. They all seemed convinced the sponsor was an outsider who had infiltrated the school. Well, they were acting like they thought that anyway. The sky turned dark as we whiled our time away. Finally, it was 7 p.m., the time mentioned on the voice recorder. That was when I threw the door to the leisure lounge open. Not because I wanted to join the game, of course. I was there to declare, as team leader, that none of us would be joining. Everyone else stood outside just in case. Turning around, I could see the others trying to peer in through the door, which was slightly ajar. There was nobody inside the room, not even a faint presence. After looking around, I lifted my head to the ceiling and shouted, "Hey, are you there? Can you see me? I'm here to tell you none of us will be joining your stupid invader hunt." No response at all? Have it your way. That's all I wanted to say. Have a bad night. After that cold farewell, I turned around and stepped out of the leisure lounge. Oh boy, you really said it. And after the sponsor said they'd kill us all if we refused to play the game. Don't say I didn't warn you. Oh, will we be okay? Gaku got killed the last time we did this. But that killer fled and went outside the wall of fire, right? Most likely, yeah. That's why the sponsor of this game probably isn't one of us. Kaku even said this morning that the handwriting was different at this time. I can't be completely sure because they use spray paint. If the sponsor wasn't the one who killed Gaku, there's also the possibility this entire thing was just a prank. So we need not be unnecessarily shaken? That's if the sponsor wasn't the killer. The truth of the matter remains to be seen. Everybody fell momentarily silent after that. Question. What's the plan for tonight? Plan? Our sleeping arrangements. Where should we all spend the night? I'm definitely sleeping in my dear sister's room. I'll stay with Takamaru. No way. What? You don't trust Takumi even after he saved my life. You and me are through, man. But... The Sakuma twins aside, why don't we sleep in our own rooms like normal? Just lock the door and you'll be fine. I agree. There are 13 people here. Making everyone sleep in pairs would leave one person out. Alright, but why not put that person with one of the other pairs? We should avoid having 3 people in one room. It's too risky. Risky? Why? Not again. Our team's already discussed this to death, and now I have to repeat myself. Despite her complaint, Hiroko carefully explained to those from the other academy why we'd decided having 3 people in a room together was a bad idea. That does make sense. We should all go back to our own rooms then. No, you just triggered the mother of all death flags, and you don't even know it. Well, anything to spice things up around here. That decided, we all returned to our own rooms to sleep after dinner. Ema insisted on sleeping in Kako's room, but nobody protested on that point.
Up and Atom troops, time to rise and shine! Get ready for your 26th day of active service here at last Defense Academy. Prepare to spend another day. Be ready to give your life.
In the morning, I headed to the cafeteria for breakfast, only to find that everyone else was already there. 1, 3, 9. Oh my! How is it that I count 14 souls? Because you're terrible at math! There are only 13 people here! You see? Nothing bad happened. So it was just a prank after all? But by who? And for what purpose? If you're asking me, I think the most likely suspect is... We all turned to look at Darmy. Oh, wait a minute! You're accusing me of being the game's sponsor? I don't think so. Darmy doesn't have the guts to pull off something like that. You underestimate me! I may not have guts, but I've still got my brain meats! They're small and overpowered, but they're there all the same! Oh, for the love of murder. Hey, can we just be happy that nothing happened? Please excuse me for exposing you to my foul-smelling dumpster breath, but why don't we all have breakfast together? After breakfast, we all headed off to do our own things, relieved that nothing bad had happened after all. As for me, I went back to my room. Almost immediately, a visitor came knocking. I opened the door to find Tsubasa standing outside.
Huh?
Did something happen? You asked about Ava's mask yesterday, remember? I brought it here for you. Oh, thanks. Sorry for the trouble. I took the mask from her. What are you going to do with that? I was thinking of returning it to Ava. What, you trust her now?
Huh?
Not really. It's just... Oh, I know. You fell in love with her. What? Of course not. Tsubasa narrowed her eyes at me and I felt my palms get sweaty. Never mind. It's none of my business. Everyone's free to love who they want. I told you that's not it. But since we're talking about the mask, I looked it over out of curiosity and found something pretty interesting. That mask isn't an ordinary accessory. It actually comes installed with a bunch of high-tech features. Infrared night vision, zoom functions, organic light detection. There's even a miniature air tank inside that allows it to turn into a gas mask. Using that air tank, the wearer can survive completely shut off from the outside world for as long as 30 minutes. That's amazing. It almost sounds like it'd be a waste to give it back to Ava. You wouldn't be able to use it, Takumi. It's custom made to fit a specific shape. Ava's the only one who can wear it. Guess I might as well give it back after all. Even with the best technology in the world, she can't possibly harm any of us from inside that cage, right? Tsubasa thought about it for a while before nodding in agreement. By the way, when's she gonna give us more information about the enemy? She did promise to be useful if we spared her life. I actually think it'd be best if we could get her to join us as an ally. An ally? Yeah, so that she can fight in defensive battles along with us. We'd need some kind of safety measure before allowing her to cut loose, of course. Like a collar with a bomb, maybe. That should put everyone at ease, right? If she tries to run or do anything funny, all we have to do to stop her is press a button to activate the bomb. A bulb lit up in my mind as Tsubasa was speaking. Tsubasa? Let's say there was already a self-destruction device in Ava's body. Would it be possible for someone else to activate it? It depends on how the bomb was built. If the detonation mechanism was designed to be triggered remotely, then maybe. In that case, your plan might actually work. Wait, you were being serious? You weren't just speaking hypothetically? Do you think that's something you can do? You want me to create a detonation device for the bomb inside her? Yes. Once it's done, we'll have the perfect safety measure. And then we can allow Ava to join us, huh? Alright, I'll give it a shot. Awesome. I'm counting on you. After Tsubasa left, I went to look for Hiriko to get the key from her. The key that would open Ava's cage. I walked into the courtyard, her mask in hand. Takumi. Here you go, as promised. That's my mask. It sure is. I opened the cage using the key Hiriko gave me. After handing Ava's mask to her, I closed the door and locked it again. Thank you, Takumi. I don't know what to say. No need. Just keeping my promise. Well, I'll be seeing you. I turned around, giving a casual wave as I walked away. I'm back in my room, but now what? There's nothing for me to do here. Might as well go take a walk around school. So you're telling me, if I had just fucking not joined the killing game, I would have gotten my free time 80 days earlier, huh? Well, I really want to focus on the 3 people who are dead in the other routes. Art items, cool accessories. Do I have any? Yeah, good for celebrity tools. Yeah, I really need to work on Kurata. Okay. Silverware. Sure. It reacts to poison. Huh. I never even thought about that.
How did you know something like this would please me? Are you that in love with me?
Nice. I've not given her many gifts, so... I just need to learn more about her, too. So I think that's what I'll do today. Oh, did you come here to craft some weapons, too?
Huh?
Hey, Takumi, do you know what makes a great weapon? What makes a great weapon? I guess how lethal they are? That is certainly important. A weapon must be able to kill an enemy or it serves no purpose. But even more important is a low failure rate. A low failure rate? No matter how capable the weapon, if it breaks, it's as good as trash. Stories of key weapons breaking at critical times leading to entire squads getting wiped out. They're more common than you might think. Really? That's why an outdated, cheaper model is actually just right. Cheap weapons might not have much to them, but their simple construction means fewer points of failure. A reliable, cheap weapon is better than a useless, expensive one. Expensive taste shouldn't carry over to the battlefield. Smart. Smart lady. I do need to get more, shit, like, materials.
You never know. Well then.
Might do that. Tomorrow, if I have free time. I went to bed after an uneventful day. No, it only seemed uneventful. Something may have been brewing behind the scenes without me noticing. But since I had no way of ascertaining that, I decided to simply go to bed and embrace sleep for tonight. Uh-oh. Is there a moider happening?
Up and Atom troops, time to rise and shine! Get ready for your 27th day of active service here at Last Defense Academy! Prepare to spend another... Be ready to give...
I woke up as the morning announcement played. It had barely finished when a piercing scream resounded in my ears.
Ah!
I jumped out of bed and dashed out of my room. Hiriko, Tsubasa, and Takamaru were out on the roof already. Was that Shoma just now? Yeah, I came running out when I heard it.
Huh?
I was already here when she came out. The scream came from the back of the building. Are you sure? Trust me, I got a dog's ear. Okay, let's go. We made our way down the stairs as quickly as we could and headed for the back of the school. It didn't take long for us to reach our destination, where we saw...
Shoma!
I rushed over to check his pulse and breathing.
Nothing. He's dead.
Didn't we just hear him scream? He can still be revived then.
No way!
By this time, other team members had come running as well. It was Nozomi, Moko, Kiyoshika, Yugamu, and Kurara. They gasped and their eyes went wide when they saw Shoma's body.
Shoma!
Impossible.
What is this? Is he breathing?
No, unfortunately.
Get your act together. It's too early to give up. We just heard him screaming.
Yeah.
He can't have been dead longer than 10 minutes.
Right. We can use the Revive-O-Matic to bring him back.
Let's get him to the infirmary! Yes, but just one moment.
The hell?
Sir Ima, Lady Kako, and Lady Darumi have not shown up yet.
Hey, you're right.
Maybe they woke up early and went to the cafeteria first?
Even so, they should have heard the scream. Weird that they didn't come running like the rest of us.
This isn't the time to discuss that. Get Shoma to the infirmary now.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'll carry him there on my back. I don't know how to work the Revive-O-Matic, though.
I'll come with you. The rest of you can go look for Ima, Kako, and Darumi.
Got it.
Takamaru put Shoma on his back and immediately ran off to the infirmary with Tsubasa. The rest of us then split up to look for Ima, Kako, and Darumi. Since the person who attacked Shoma could still be lurking nearby, we split into teams for safety. I partnered up with Hiriko. We decided to start with the cafeteria. We made our way there as soon as we could, but there was nobody else inside. Ima, Kako, Darumi, anybody there? No response. Looks like they're not here. Yes, let's try somewhere else. Turning around, we dashed down the hallway towards the gym. But when we got there... It's locked? Hey, I can't open the door! Is it locked? Peered through the small opening in the slightly ajar door. There's a latch. Someone latched the door from inside. Hiriko and I looked at each other nervously, neither daring to breathe. We're going to have to break the door down. You're right. On 3. 1, 2, 3. The door refused to budge even after we threw ourselves against it numerous times. Soon the noise we were making started attracting the others to the gym as well. We need some help here, guys. What we were trying to do was obvious enough that we didn't have to explain. Everyone nodded, took a few steps back, and prepared to charge the door. Ready? Go! The latch broke apart with a cracking sound, and we all tumbled into the gym together. And lying on the floor in front of us...
Kako!
Poison?
This is...
Huh.
Unbelievable.
I ran to Kako and put a finger on her neck. There was no pulse. She was deathly cold. Hiriko came from behind me and started examining Kako's body. Once she had finished, she turned to look at the others and silently shook her head.
But it's okay. She couldn't have been dead for too long, like Shoma.
Then we should take her to the infirmary now!
Yeah.
Nozomi ran over to Kako and lifted her up. As she did, something fell out from Kako's right hand. What's this? A medicine bottle. By the time I noticed it, Nozomi had already run out of the gym carrying Kako's body. As the rest of us started to leave, Hiriko suddenly spoke up.
Huh.
Wait, Yugamu, Yugo, and Nozomi.
Huh.
Moko, Kiyoshika, Kurara, continue looking for Imandarumi. And Takumi, you stay here. What? Why? Just do as I say for now. I'll explain later. Alright, let us be off at once. The others nodded at each other and then ran toward the hallway, leaving only Hiriko and myself at the scene of the crime. Why only me? There's only one exit here, and it was latched shut. Oh, you're so smart. I turned to look at the exit. Lying on the floor nearby was a mop that had been broken into 3 pieces. The mop handle had been used as a makeshift latch. It would be impossible for someone to latch the door like that from outside, which means this incident happened in a locked room. Oh my god. This fucking game, I swear to god. Locked room mysteries? We're 5 for 5. Assuming this is true, there are 2 possibilities I can think of. Can you guess what they are? Either Kako killed herself, or the murderer is still here. I answered hesitatingly. The first possibility is that, as much as I hate to say it, Kako killed herself, right?
Oh.
Yes, look at the bottle that dropped from her hand. What does the label say? TTX.
Huh.
It's an abbreviation for tetrodotoxin.
Huh.
It's extremely poisonous. Swallowing just 1 or 2 milligrams is fatal. Are you saying Kako drank this? I don't know, but we'll have time to think about that later. The other possibility is the more pressing one. Because if Kako didn't take the poison herself, it didn't take me long to make the connection. The killer is still hiding somewhere in the gym. Yes, if there is a killer, that is. That's why I told you to stay behind. Alright, let's look around. Hiriko and I searched the gym as cautiously as we could. Despite leaving no stone unturned, we didn't find anyone hiding anywhere. What about the secret entrance to the thing? This makes it clear that Kako took her own life. Does it, though? Shoma was found sliced up at the back of the building around the same time. Yeah. Don't you find it strange that somebody killed him while Kako killed herself? No. There's nothing strange about that if Kako had been the one to kill Shoma. After stabbing him to death, she ran into the gym, blocked the door with the mop handle, and ingested the poison to kill herself. I decided to state my opinion objectively, even though I really didn't want to say those words out loud. Maybe, but that wouldn't make sense if Kako died before Shoma. Remember how Kako felt when you touched her body? Yes. She'd already gone completely cold. I noticed it too. It's probably been several hours since she died. So Kako killed herself sometime last night, and then somebody killed Shoma sometime this morning? Or Kako was also murdered. That's a possibility as well. How is that possible when the door was latched from the inside? Wait, there's something more important here. If Kako had already been dead for a few hours... Yes, I'm afraid it's already too late for her. Oh no. Tsubasa, Nozomi, and Yugamu were in the infirmary when Hiriko and I arrived. They were standing around with grave looks on their faces. How are Shoma and Kako? Well, we managed to successfully revive Shoma. That's great. Yes, what a relief. But he's still unconscious. His physical body has been restored to full health, but it seems he hasn't recovered mentally from the attack yet. Where is he? Sleeping in his room. Takamaru's taking care of him. And what about Kako? We did put her body in the Revive-O-Matic, but... alas... Hiriko and I went behind the Revive-O-Matic to look at the monitor. What was written on the screen made our hearts sink. Cause of death? Respiratory paralysis-induced asphyxiation. Estimated time of death? Day 27 between 1 and 4 a.m. Traces of TTX poison dedicated in body. Oral intake of TTX presumed to have led to respiratory paralysis-induced asphyxiation. No external injuries found on body. Too much time has passed since death. Impossible to revive. The silence of the room was broken by the door being thrown open and 3 people running in. Darmy, you're safe. Where were you all this time? In the rack where I'm playing slots. You were doing what? Hey, you can't blame me. I overslept this morning and didn't see anyone in the cafeteria. I just assumed everyone was off doing their own thing. Kiyoshika and I found her in the rec room and dragged her here. We've already told her about Shoma and Kako. Still, we didn't yet know if they'd been successfully revived, so here we are. Did it go well? Just then, 2 other people barged into the room noisily. Oh no. Miss Osuzuki told me what happened. I fell asleep in my dear sister's room last night, but when I woke up, she was nowhere to be found. I've been looking around for her ever since. I saw him running around the hallways like a headless chicken and brought him here. Where is my dear sister? What has happened to her? Oh no. I explained the situation to everyone who had just arrived. The news that Kako could no longer be revived hit everyone like a ton of bricks. Tears started welling up in Moko and Kiyoshika's eyes while Kurara was sniffling away under her mask. Darumi alone shed no tears. She had a vacant look on her face as she stared absently into space. And as for Ima...
No! 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 Dear sister!
Oh no.
My dear sister! No!
With an anguished cry, the distraught Ima lost control of all reason and started lashing out. We managed to wrestle him to the ground and pin his limbs down even as he struggled violently.
Wait here while I go grab the gamma feel.
What's that?
A powerful anesthetic. We have some in the biolab.
Yugamu dashed off as quickly as he could. He came back a while later with the gamma feel, which he then injected into Ima. The drug caused Ima to weaken and slump over. Yugamu observed him closely.
All is fine now. He's unlikely to wake up before tomorrow morning.
We moved the unconscious Ima to his room and assigned Moko to watch over him. After that, we took Kako's body to the morgue. There were now 3 bodies lying on tables in the morgue. Kako's body was the smallest. I kept staring at her. When I closed my eyes, I could still see her innocent smile. I couldn't believe the girl I had thought of like my own little sister was now gone. An indescribable ache spread through my chest at that thought. Unable to stand the pain, I forced myself to look away. After that, we went to the courtyard to check the cages. Ava was still inside hers, the door securely locked. Hiroko and I went on to tell the others what we'd learned from investigating the gym. The improvised latch, the bottle of poison, and how there had been no one else inside. While we were talking, the sun had set and the darkness of night was slowly taking over. It was already evening. Since nobody was in the mood for a meal, we gathered in the leisure lounge instead of the cafeteria. Sir Takamaru, were you not supposed to be attending to Sir Shoma? Yugamu took over. Shoma's still out cold, but he's physically fine now. I just don't understand why Kako would kill herself. As I've already explained, we don't know for sure that it was suicide. We haven't found a suicide note, not in the gym, on her clothes, or in her room yet. But the gym door was latched shut from the inside. And you didn't find anyone else in there, correct? Yes, but I find it hard to accept Kako had killed herself, when Shoma was clearly killed by someone else. Why would she even do such a thing? I won't be fully convinced until a clear reason surfaces. I think she was murdered too. By that sponsor who was trying to get us to join the invader hunt. They did warn us this would happen. We all heard what that recording said, remember? All who refuse to join the game will be eliminated. All who refuse? That means the rest of us are targets too. You telling us that sponsor wants to kill us all? The first threatening message said something about everyone dying too. It sure did. The first and second threats. We assumed they were written by different people because of the handwriting. But I'm starting to think it was the same person after all. We went against the first note. We ignored her demand to leave the academy and chose to stay behind instead. That gave the culprit an idea. I'll hold a killing game and force those guys to murder each other. But when we went against the second request as well, they decided they were going to have to do it themselves. And by it, you mean killing us? Yep, it all makes sense when you think of it this way, doesn't it? That would mean the perpetrator has already murdered 4 people. 4? Sir Gaku, Lady Kako, Sirei, and Sir Shoma. Though Sir Shoma was lucky enough to escape the jaws of death. So we're up against a ruthless serial killer here. We can't just let someone butcher our friends and get away scot-free. But how do we find them? Haven't I mentioned this before? The killer may well be one of us. Everyone tensed up at Hiriko's words and started exchanging suspicious glances. Not everyone is a suspect, though. It would have been impossible for Takumi, Tsubasa, Takamaru, or me to have done this. How can you be so sure? Oh, that's right. The 4 of us met each other on the rooftop this morning, immediately after hearing Shoma scream. He was stabbed at the back of the building, even if we could teleport. There's no way we could have appeared on the rooftop right after slicing him up that badly. He wasn't thrown down from the rooftop after being stabbed either. His body hadn't taken any fall damage. Just a moment. What if all 4 of you were working together? Yes, it would definitely seem possible from your point of view. That would also mean 1 in 3 of our team are killers. I don't think the SDU would be worth much then. That line of reasoning isn't strong enough to prove your innocence. Anyway, what were the rest of you doing at that time? I remember those who came after us were Nozomi, Kiyoshika, and Kurara. Moko and Yugamu, too. Though they aren't here right now. Where did you guys come from? I ran from the entrance hall. I simply found myself in a group as I was heading to the back of the building. How did you know to go there? Well, I heard Shoma scream, but I chose to wait in my room first before making a move. Then I overheard you guys talking outside. You said something about the scream coming from the back of the building, remember? So I followed you to the scene of the crime. Nozomi and Darumi said the same thing, but I couldn't tell if they were telling the truth. Whatever the case, there was no denying the perpetrator could have joined up with the group halfway through, without anyone realizing. Your suspicions are misplaced, especially when there is a much likelier suspect to cast aspersions on. Yes, someone who didn't even show up at the crime scene. Huh? We? You mean me? You were totally trying to get us all to join that stupid killing game. So when we refused to cave after the second threat, you decided to... It wasn't me! I had nothing to do with that threat. I overslept, that's all. We all shot Darumi deeply suspicious looks. Her dismay and bewilderment were palpable. Beads of sweat rolled down her face, making her makeup run. Hey, can I say something? I think it's counterproductive for us to be doubting each other like this. How are we going to handle future battles if we can't even stay united? Let's calm down and think about things rationally. Under normal circumstances, the probability of the killer being an outsider is a lot higher than the alternative. But would an outsider be able to slip in without triggering the alarm? Well, that's... maybe it was Ava! Impossible. We checked the cage just now, remember? She was still inside and the gate was properly locked. Not only that, I have the key right here. This is the only key and it can't be duplicated, as Hiroko said. Also, I locked my door last night, so nobody could have stolen the key from me while I was asleep. What if you were working with her? I can debunk that theory. Takumi has been with me since morning. Even if he had let Ava out of her cage last night to stab Shoma, he couldn't have locked it back up this morning without my knowledge. You need the key to lock the cage just as much as you need it to unlock it. That means it's one of us. No, it can't be. There has to be a way for someone to come in without triggering the alarm. There's always the possibility that nobody slipped in at all. What are you saying? I'm saying the killer could have already been hiding in the academy before the first team was dispatched here. That's true. If they were here already, they wouldn't have triggered the alarm. So that person's still hiding somewhere in the school right now? All of a sudden, Tsubasa raised her voice. I know. I can make an organic life detection device. Organic life? Detection device? Put simply, it's a machine that detects the number of large living organisms on school grounds. It won't be advanced enough to pinpoint their exact locations, but having a precise number should tell us if there's really an outsider hiding here. You can make something like that? I found a similar function while investigating Ava's mask 2 days ago. I took the opportunity to study it thoroughly. So yes, I can make something like that. In 7 days, maybe? 7 days. Until then, let's stop being suspicious of each other like Nozomi suggested. We'll assume that the killer's an outsider until proven wrong. What do you guys say? Everyone nodded in agreement. The moment I saw that, the world around me started to spin. What is this? That was the last thought in my mind before it shut down completely. Huh? Why'd we just skip a bunch of days?
Up and at 'em, troops! Time to rise and shine! Get ready for your 39th day of active service here at Last Defense Academy. Prepare to spend another day enduring. Be ready to give.
I woke up to the now all too familiar sight of Nozomi sitting right in front of me. It was deja vu time. She noticed right away that I was awake and leapt to her feet with an ear-piercing scream. She scuttled frantically around the room a few times more than the last, before finally coming to a stop. And then she just stood there in a daze. I watched the entire scene play out before sitting up. What day is it today? Day 39. I fainted on the night of day 27, so I've been out for 11 days? Yes. We're almost out of emergency feeding drips. Why did I lose consciousness? I didn't get stabbed on day 27. My old wound didn't reopen. Nozomi regarded me with a somber look on her face as I mumbled to myself. Then she gave me the diagnosis. We think you have the fainting disease. Fainting disease? Also known as psychogenic pseudosyncope. A disease that causes you to suddenly lose consciousness after being exposed to strong psychological shock or stress. Like your mind just blows out. I have a disease like that? Yes. After what happened to Shoma and Kako on day 27. Your mind suffered a heavy blow. And even though you somehow made it to nighttime okay, the moment you felt like you could relax, your mind completely shut down, just like that. How could you tell I had this disease? This is the 3rd time you fainted out of the blue, right? And it always takes you a long time to regain consciousness. This didn't seem like normal behavior, so we decided to scan your brain. Using the Revivomatics diagnosis function. I don't remember contracting any disease like that. This is what the machine's analysis said. Traces of treatment found on damaged parts of the brain. Fainting disease likely developed as after effect. Treatment on damaged parts of my brain? I don't know what exactly happened. At any rate, the damage isn't life-threatening and doesn't affect your cognitive functions or your judgment. So that part's nothing to worry about, at least. Easy for you to say.
Huh?
This means I could faint again if something stressful happens, right? Yes, but I'm sure it'll be alright. As long as we make sure nothing too stressful happens again.
Huh?
So, has anything changed? Changed? Like, have you guys learned anything about the killer while I was out? No, we haven't made any progress in that area. The unknown killer remains at large. We don't have a single clue to follow. Nobody's been attacked since then, so we're still alive at least. What about Shoma and Ima? Shoma's regained consciousness already, but he said he doesn't know who stabbed him. You can ask him about it for yourself later. And Ima? He's barricaded himself in his room and hasn't said much to us. Just a word or two when we deliver food to him. Needless to say, he didn't fight in the defensive battle that happened on day 33. Ima, Shoma, and Darumi sat out the battle as usual. Are those three still suspicious of me? Yes. They seem to think you're the most likely suspect. But even if you weren't the one, it had to be someone from the SDU. That's what those three believe. Nozomi and I headed to the cafeteria together, where everyone except Ima, Shoma, and Darumi were gathered. When they saw me, they said things like, "You're awake," or "Thank goodness." Everyone was quietly rejoicing about seeing me on my feet again. Their reactions were a lot more subdued than before. I could hardly blame them. This was the third time I'd woken up after losing consciousness for several days. At least that was what I thought. It turned out they had another reason to be despondent. The dark, gloomy aura that hung over the group indicated there was something more at play here. I finished breakfast and returned to my room. Soon after, Tsubasa came knocking. You saw how dejected everyone seemed just now, right? Want to know why? Sure. She pulled out something from behind her back. What's this? The organic life detection device. Oh, right, you finished it. 5 days ago, yeah. And now I wish I hadn't. Why not? Because this is the reason everyone's jumping at shadows. She turned the device on as she spoke. 13. Yep, the total number of life forms in this academy. That's all of us, including Ava. Which means there are no outsiders in the school, and the culprit is really one of us. Yeah, that's what everyone believes now. Except for me and Nozomi, that is. You two still think it was an outsider that did it? I don't know, but the killer could have fled outside after stabbing Shoma, right? The possibility of that happening seemed low to me, but I forced myself not to voice those doubts. Anyway, that's why everyone's so down. Basically, it's because they're all suspicious of one another. This isn't going to end well. Without trust, we won't be able to put up a united front during the next defensive battle. Can't you do something, Takumi? I'll do what I can to help as well. Just tell me what you need. Oh, I just remembered. I finished that other thing you asked me to make a while ago, too. What thing? You know, the remote detonator that'll trigger a bomb in Ava's body? I managed to complete it after carefully investigating her body. With her consent, of course. Tsubasa rummaged through her pocket and took out something that looked like a remote control. I took it and gripped it tightly in my hand. Thanks. This puts me at ease. I'll probably add Ava to the team starting from the next battle. Yeah, that should help out our combat power. The problem is getting the others to trust her. Oh well, I've done my part. The rest is up to you. With that, she left the room. Up to me, huh? How should I do this? What was it Tsubasa said before? The killer could have fled outside after stabbing Shoma. To be honest, I didn't think they did. I had no concrete proof, but everything that had happened so far felt like part of a larger scheme that someone was orchestrating. At the very least, I was convinced the culprit wasn't going to stop at Shoma's stabbing. In that case, excluding myself, the killer must be one of the other 12 students at this academy. No, wait. Shoma was a victim. If Hiriko, Tsubasa, Takamaru, and Ava were also innocent, that leaves just 7 suspects. Shoma can Shoma... No, he can't stab himself like that. Darumi, Nozomi, Kiyoshika, Yugamu, Moko, Ima, and Kurara. Who could have done it? Kurara, maybe? But why? It's not Nozomi. Right? It can't be. I don't think it's Ima. Ima wouldn't... There's no reason Ima would have killed Kako. And not killed himself in the process. I mean, it could be Darumi, but, like, seems a little too obvious. Kiyoshika? Better not be. Yugamu? I don't think it's Yugamu. Moko? I don't think it's Moko. I don't know. I have no idea. I never willingly choose to treat any of my friends as suspects, but as it turns out, I don't have a choice right now. I won't gain everyone's trust until I identify the real culprit. If I don't have their trust, the SDE would fall apart, and everyone would be annihilated by the invaders. The only way to prevent that from happening is to reveal the identity of the killer. That was what the boy with the undying flame said. He must have known something like this would happen. At any rate, this was the only way of resolving all this that I could think of. I have to find the culprit no matter what. I clenched my fist and resolved to devote myself to the investigation. Okay, so we're just full-on crime scene in it, huh? Alright, let's talk to Ima. I rang the doorbell. No answer. I tried the doorknob, but it was locked. Ima, I know you're inside. Can we talk?
Hey!
I'm trying to track down the culprit, but I need something to go on. At that, a voice called out from the other side of the door. You're awake, Mr. Sumino. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can tell you. Come on, there's gotta be something. You see, I'm suspicious of you too. I think you may have been the one who killed my dear sister. What are you... Is she... Okay, I don't think the mic's picking it up. Okay. What are you talking about? Oh my god. Okay, you could... That one... Shut up. Here, let me go. Alright. What are you talking about? I didn't kill her. And in the first place, Kako, she...
Duh?
Killed herself? Is that what you're trying to say?
Huh?
A preposterous suggestion. There was absolutely no reason for my dear sister to do such a thing. She had no worries, no sorrows. Even if she did develop any, she would have told me about them. My dear sister did not kill herself. I have no doubt she was murdered. Like I told you just now, I suspect that the killer may have been you, Mr. Sumino. The only reason I haven't exacted vengeance yet is because I'm not completely sure it was you. Accidentally killing the wrong person would be playing right into the hands of the real culprit. But I might lose my sense of reason if we continue to speak much longer. Can you please leave now, while I'm still in my right mind? I could sense that prolonging the conversation would lead nowhere. Ima refused to respond to any further attempts to talk. Alright.
Huh?
Oh, you're still in the cafeteria. Don't talk to us now!
Huh.
We are in the midst of a very serious discussion. Nozomi just refuses to listen to reason. What's the discussion about? I still don't believe the culprit is one of us. I'm trying to tell everyone to stop being so suspicious of each other. You saw the device's total for the number of life forms in the school. Yes, but that doesn't prove the crimes were inside jobs. The culprit must have fled outside the wall of fire after stabbing Shoma. And we're trying to tell you that is not possible. Yeah, this doesn't seem like a killer who'd stop at 1 or 2 victims. They clearly said they wanted to kill everyone, both in the tape recording and that first message. But I just can't... Takumi, say something. Huh? Well... I stammered hard because I was more in line with Kurara's way of thinking than Nozomi's. I did feel bad for Nozomi, so I decided to simply avoid committing for now. Sorry, I just remembered I have something I needed to do. Gotta go, bye! Wait, Takumi! Hey, come back here, please! I ignored Nozomi's pleas and quickly bolted out of the room and into the hallway. Okay, well, we're not getting much clues. I feel like Kiriko's gonna be the most useful, so I'll leave her for last. I'm sure she's been investigating it. Alright. Medicine. One of mankind's most eminent inventions for sustaining life. And dealing death.
Oh.
How can I help you today, Takumi? I told Yugamu that I was investigating the case. Does that include Kako's death, too? Yes. The suspicious circumstances of her death bother me as well. My main objective was to solve the attempted murder of Shoma, but that didn't mean it was my only concern. Any information that might help solve Kako's case would be more than welcome. There were other cases to think about as well, like Sirei's destruction and Gaku's murder. But I hadn't found any further clues to those cases despite my thorough investigation on day 24. So I decided to focus on Shoma's case first, while the trail was still fresh. Is there something bothering you about Kako's case? Yes, there is. Remember her cause of death. She'd ingested tetrodotoxin, an extremely potent poison. When we found her, she was holding a body labeled TTX tightly in her right hand. That bottle was originally from this biolab. So the poison was taken from here? That would appear to be the case. Whether by Kako, who then killed herself with it, or by someone else, who used it to kill Kako. Is this room open to everyone? Sure is. There's no lock on the door, and the cabinets are unsecured, too. Anyone could have taken anything at any time. Somebody also stole some gamma fuel, plus syringes and needles to administer it. Gamma fuel? The substance you used to knock Ima out on day 27? The very same. Huh? If it's still here, it hasn't been stolen, right? There are multiple bottles here. Several are missing. It didn't happen recently either. I first noticed the missing bottles on day 27. When I came here to get the supplies needed to help with Ima, I saw that there were already some missing. Why would the killer do that? We don't know for sure if the killer was the one who stole them. The thing is, at the proper dilution, this substance can numb the body's pain and emotional receptors without causing loss of consciousness. Perhaps that was what the thief wanted to use it for. Okay. That makes me think someone drugged Kako and then killed her with another drug. Takumi, long time no see. I heard you were out cold for a while. I woke up all of a sudden for some reason. I'm I'm glad you did. Is there something I can help you with today? There was no point asking Ava about the case, so I decided to talk about something else.
Huh?
Do you remember what you told me before?
Ah.
And then you said you decided to take your chances with us, right? Yes. I will no longer try to self-destruct in everyone's presence, for the reasons I previously explained. Then, will you fight with us instead? What? Veshnus, the one who betrayed you, is still alive, right? By joining us in battle, you can personally take revenge against her and her underlings. Is that why Tsubasa asked to conduct a thorough investigation of my body the other day? So that if I ever tried anything, your team would be able to detonate the bomb inside my body remotely. Using the device she made. Yes, but I just want to make one thing clear. I didn't ask for the device because I'm suspicious of you. It's just something that's needed to put the others at ease. I gave a thought for a while about what I said. Alright. You saved my life, so if there's anything I can do to help you, I'll do it. Thank you. Unfortunately, you'll still have to wait for a while before I can let you out of here. I need to clear it with the others first. Understood. I will wait. Okay. These two won't be helpful. I guess Shoma should be helpful, because he fucking got stabbed. What are you guys doing here? If it isn't serial killer Takumi! You're awake. I'm not a serial killer, so stop calling me that. Anyway, I'm investigating the identity of the culprit right now. Do you mind if I ask a few questions? Whoa, can you be any more shameless? The criminal's role-playing as detective now! I'm not talking to you. I'm asking Shoma. No, you want to know about the person who stabbed me? And I've told the others a bunch of times already. I didn't get a good look at them. Wait, I thought you were sure Takumi did it! Yes, but it's not like I have any proof, so... Does that mean you didn't see the culprit when you were stabbed? No, I did see someone, but they were wearing a mask. How about the person's height or body structure? I can't be sure. They were dressed in a long black poncho thing. You must have seen some identifiable features. I was attacked the moment I turned around, so I'm afraid not. I screamed immediately, and before I realized it, I'd been shoved to the ground. I don't remember anything after that. I fainted after the first 2 or 3 stabs. So, you don't even know if it was a man or a woman? No. Did they say anything? Actually, I did hear something as I was being stabbed. The person kept saying, "Die, die." Then you should have been able to recognize the voice. The thing is, I didn't. Why not? And their voice had been changed with a voice changer. Voice changer, huh? So I think it's the sponsor that killed Shoma and killed Gaku. But what about Kako? That one doesn't make any sense. Maybe Hiriko has something to say. Hiriko, you were here the other day too. What's so interesting about this place?
Oh?
I wanted to investigate Kako's body again. What about you? I'm here to investigate the case as well.
Oh?
As if your clumsy brain could ever bring us closer to the truth. Oh, be quiet. Hiriko decided to repeat herself in a hushed voice. As if your clumsy brain...
Hey!
You know that's not what I meant. Anyway, have you already looked at Kako's body?
Oh.
Yes, and the other two as well. Huh? Ito and Gaku too. Didn't we already check Gaku's body on day 24? Yes, but something happened to make me realize I needed to check it again. I've discovered 2 surprising facts after reinvestigating Kako's body. Surprising facts? The first concerns her cryptoglobin. Her body's been almost completely drained of it. What? There's a cut on her ankle. Her body was likely moved somewhere and hung up for an extended time. It was returned here after being almost completely drained of cryptoglobin.
Ah.
When?
Huh.
I'll get to that later. Let me tell you about my other discovery first. Hiriko walked to Kako's body and removed the sheet that was covering it. Then she flipped the body over, and what I saw flabbergasted me. What the hell? Marks of a stolen heart. What? Somebody cut a hole in her back, smashed her ribs, and dug her heart out. Why would anybody do that? Before we talk about that, check the other bodies as well. I did as I was told and flipped Eito and Gaku's bodies over, only to see the exact same marks on them. A large, empty cavity on their backs. Wait a minute. What's going on here? What, indeed. Why are you so calm about this? Their hearts have been removed from their bodies. I know. That's what I've been trying to tell you. When did this happen? When we investigated Gaku's body on day 24, his back was still intact. It still was on day 27, too. I checked Eito and Gaku's bodies when we moved Kako's body here. Nobody had holes in their backs at that point in time. It means it must have happened sometime after the night of day 27. The perpetrator likely did the deed to all three at the same time. That may have been when they extracted Kako's cryptoglobin as well. Who? Simple logic dictates that the culprit behind this series of events did it. But why? How should I know what the culprit is up to? Perhaps they're simply a lunatic who collects hearts as a hobby, or a gourmet who enjoys a spot of grilled myocardium with lemon on top. Both examples are crazy. There's just one thing I can't seem to figure out. Why were the hearts extracted from the back? Making an opening in the chest would make removing them so much easier. Why go about it this way? That's a good question. Neither of us could come up with anything feasible, so we decided to investigate the bodies again. There was not a single further clue to be found. I went to the gym last. When I stepped inside, I saw that Tsubasa and Takamaru were already there. Tsubasa, Takamaru, perfect timing. I need to ask you guys about something. What is it? Remember the voice changer you showed me in the garage the other day? Is it still there? Shoma told you about the culprit using the voice changer, huh? Yeah, he did. You guessed right, Takumi. The device has gone missing. I knew it. The culprit stole it, huh? I think so. When did you realize it was gone? On day 28, the day Shoma regained consciousness. I went to the garage to check after hearing his story, and... The voice changer was already gone? Yeah, without anyone realizing. She showed us the voice changer on the afternoon of day 24. So it must have been stolen between that time and the morning of day 27, before Shoma got stabbed. What are you two doing here, though? I did a lot of thinking myself while you were out, and I just don't believe Kako would kill herself. Me too. At first, suicide seemed like the only possibility based on the situation. After listening to Hiriko, though, I started to realize how unnatural the whole thing seemed. But if she was killed, how'd the culprit get away? That's what we need to figure out. And so here we are. Maybe there's a secret tunnel or something here that we completely missed, you know? We're all here to do the same thing, then. You mean... Yes. Kako died under such mysterious circumstances that I can't stop thinking about it. Let's check the place out together. Yeah, and we can trust each other since all three of us here are safers. Safers? Those of us that can be safely removed from the list of suspects. Safers. That's true. And thus we began to investigate the gem. We went around knocking on walls and floors to check for hidden doors. Some time passed before Takamaru shouted at us from the stage. Hey, come over here! I found something crazy! He was standing at a corner of the stage. Tsubasa and I hurried over. What in the world? No way, there really was a hidden tunnel. Or should I say, a hidden ladder. I I checked this place before, but I found nothing. What did you do? Told you I've got a dog's hearing. I knocked on the floor and knew right away there was an empty space underneath. Then I groped around the surface, and what do you know? A rotatable handle came flipping out. Grabbed the handle, pulled it, and there you have it. Let's go see what's down there. Yeah. We slowly made our way down the long ladder. Eventually, I felt my toes touching solid ground. What I saw there was... Isn't this... You know this thing? Yeah, remember what I told you before? This is the escape pod that deploys on the last day. Huh? No way. Damn. Does that mean if we can get inside, we could go to the artificial satellite? We ran to the entrance of the pod and checked the door. There was a note pinned to it. The door to this pod automatically opens on day 100. No manual override available. Despite the note, we kept looking around for a way to open it manually. However, we were unable to find anything. This thing can't be opened from outside. How about we use a crowbar to pry it open? Then the pod becomes useless because outer space is a vacuum! So we have no choice but to wait until day 100. We'll have to give up on the idea of boarding the pod before then. Shit! By the way, have you guys forgotten why we came down here in the first place? Course not. We were trying to solve the locked room case, weren't we? Yeah. Hiriko and I thoroughly investigated the gym after discovering Kako's body. But if the killer had been hiding in the storeroom or the ladder shaft at that time, you couldn't possibly have found them. And after you and Hiriko left the gym, the killer got out and walked through the exit like nothing ever happened. Which means Kako really was killed. We don't have concrete proof of that yet. However, this does disprove the previous notion that it couldn't possibly have been murder. Wait. Assuming for a moment she was murdered, wouldn't that also prove the killer was an outsider? Because when we found Kako's body, Takamaru, Shoma, and I were in the infirmary, whereas everyone else was in the gym. No, not everyone else. 2 were missing. That's right. Darumi and Ima. Ima couldn't have been the killer. He worshipped the ground she walked on. Darumi, though, said she was playing slots or something. She could have been lying through her teeth. But it's always possible that an outsider did it. You made that life detection device yourself. Unless you're telling me you made that number up. I did no such thing. That was the correct number, but the killer could have gotten away by the time I finished making the device, right? Just then, I noticed something out of the corner of my eye. An item on the ground next to the cockpit of the escape pod. It caught my eye for some reason, and I walked slowly over to pick it up. Hey, what's that? A handkerchief? So it seems. I see something embroidered on it. That reads IT. Information technology? Or maybe just it, as in it girl. Could it be referring to initials of a name? Imo Sakumo. Ima. Sakumo? Yep. When we exited the gym, we saw that it was already nighttime. I asked Takamaru and Tsubasa to gather the others before heading to Ima's room myself. Come out, Ima. I need to ask you about something. Somehow it felt like he would keep hiding if I told him about the handkerchief, so I decided not to say anything for now. We found a clue that may lead us to Kako's killer. I made that assertion even though I had no solid proof she had been killed, because I wanted to get him out of the room. A short while later, I heard the door being unlocked. Then Ima appeared from behind it. You believed me about my dear sister being murdered? Yes. Can you come with me? Slowly but surely, Ima nodded in assent. Takamaru, Tsubasa, and I took everyone to the storeroom where the escape pod was being kept. We told them how we had found the place and how the pod could only be used on day 100. After climbing back out, we all headed to the cafeteria.
Huh?
So what was the clue that you found? Before that, I need to check something with Darmy. On day 27, when we found Kako's body, were you really playing slots at that time? Huh? You're still suspicious of me? Then check the machine's playing log! Then you'll know for sure I was playing around that time. And how could I possibly stab Shoma if I'd been hiding in that storeroom the whole time? The only way out of that place is through that tunnel, right? I wouldn't have been able to get out of the gym until the coast was clear. Mayhaps you clambered out of the escape pod's elevator shaft. I'm no Spider-Woman, and that shaft has no footholds. It's impossible to climb. The ceiling of that shaft is covered with a thick wall. It's not something that can be opened by human hands. How about this? You were the one to kill Kako, but not the one to stab Shoma. You're suggesting there were two culprits. Indeed I am. And does the number 2 ring any bells with regard to this situation? When we found Shoma's body, there were 2 people missing from the scene. You were suspicious of me as well? Ima's face twisted into a grimace. I hesitated for a moment when I saw his expression. I decided to show everyone the handkerchief we had found. This is the clue I was talking about. We found it in the escape pod storeroom. And the letters IT have been embroidered on it. Are these initials? Wouldn't that refer to Ima Sakumo? I thought so. This is your handkerchief, right, Ima? And the fact that it was in the storeroom means... Sir Ima killed Lady Kako? Are you out of your mind? Me? Kill my very own dear sister? I didn't think that was possible either. Unless Ima was the one to stab Shoma and Darmy was the one to kill Kako. Ima dropped the handkerchief in the storeroom when he was casing the joint. I told you it wasn't me! You think Miss Amamiya and I were accomplices? And that I tacitly approved of my dear sister's murder? That's no different from accusing me of killing my dear sister myself! You are all crazy! I can't believe that thought even crossed your minds! So you deny the charge? Of course I do! Then explain yourself. Why was your handkerchief in the storeroom? That's because... You see, you are feeling guilty. No. No. No, 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 no! Ima dashed out of the cafeteria screaming. Wait, Ima! We all dashed after him. Ima grabbed the fire extinguisher in the entrance hall before running outside. We followed him as he ran out of the building. He was running at full speed through the schoolyard and none of us could catch up. Finally, he tore through the wall of fire and ran to the other side. We followed behind. When we got to the city ruins, something unexpected happened. All of a sudden, a large object shaped like an onion appeared out of nowhere and captured Ima, who had been running ahead of us. Ima! The onion object then flew high up into the air with Ima and vanished out of sight. What just happened? And what was that thing? I'd seen that onion-shaped thing before in the previous timeline. That was probably a commander.
And that's how a true lady slaughters her prey.
Are you serious? Ima's been captured by the enemy? No way. That can't be true. It's alright. We could probably figure out where they went. What? You know how Ima's been rather emotionally unstable lately, right? So much so, I thought he might just up and go missing one day, so... I secretly planted a transmitter in his body when bringing food to him. We should be able to see where they took him from the war room. You clever girl, you. Okay, let's all head back for now. We traced the transmitter and quickly figured out exactly where Ima had been taken. It was the enemy relay station we had visited in the previous timeline. We immediately started making a plan to get Ima back. After some discussion, we decided to split into two teams. The rescue team. Me, Hiriko, Takamaru, Tsubasa, and Kurara. The defense team. Nozomi, Moko, Kiyoshika, Yugamo, Shoma, and Darumi. Must we rescue him, even though he may very well be the killer? It's not set in stone yet. What if it was all a mistake? Could you ever live with the fact that you abandoned an innocent friend? I knew you would say that. I was just making sure. Having only 5 people on the defense team is not very reassuring. Yeah, can we add one more or something? No! What if the enemy attacks in the meantime? Oh, we can't afford to be lax on home security. In that case, Takumi. Yeah, it's time. Everybody follow me. Sir Takumi, Lady Ava is out and about now. Why have you done such a thing? Yes, as you can see, I let her out. But why? I intend to let her join the rescue team. Huh? I explained about that bomb in Ava's body and the remote detonator we had made to trigger it. And you really think this will work? If you feel she's acting suspicious, you can press the button to blow her up yourself. Huh? I put the remote detonator into an astonished Hiriko's hand. Now do you feel reassured? Hiriko fell silent at my words. After a few moments, she said, Have it your way. Thank you for having me on the team. I look forward to being useful to you. Alright then, we'll be right back. With Ima. Good luck. Stay safe. The rescue team set off for the enemy relay station, where Ima was being held captive. Do I get to do a battle here? By the time we got close to the relay station, the sun was starting to rise. We got off the bus and climbed up a small hill to survey the relay station. Yep, there it is.
We don't know where exactly Ima is being held in this base, but that doesn't matter. Let's just bust in there and start kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah, you guys already saw how that commander could fly.
That has to be Quenzele.
Quenzele? Is that his name?
Yes, and he's an absolute creep. Feel free to make mincemeat out of him.
A flying enemy? Sounds like a headache already. How do we even get to him? We'll be fine with my specialist skill on our side. I'll whip up some surface-to-air artillery and knock him down in one shot. The thing is, I'll have to start crafting it after he actually appears.
Why? Can't you just make it now?
This particular weapon can only hold its shape for 5 minutes. After that, its internal pressure will cause it to explode.
Got it. Guess there's no helping it then.
Okay, guys, let's do this. Special Defense Unit, move out!
I'm worried we're not going to be able to get, like, a good thumbnail in this video. Is that weird? Like, I'm thinking, am I going to have to use the fucking bus again? I mean, it's like a completely different people than the last time we rode the bus, but still. And how does she have the artificial class armor? That's not even explained. They just knew you wouldn't do this fucking route first, I guess. I don't fucking know. Okay. Alright. Well, Airblade's about to knock these fuckers out. Nope. Let's do it.
Say when.
As long as the loadout's different, I'll play anything.
Here.
Oh, controller.
Ready when you are. Ha!
Okay.
Good to go. Takes more than that. Here we go. There. My turn. Yeah.
Okay. And then Tsubasa can clean
Ready
this up.
when you are. Take this. Leave it to me. Watch out. I'm good whenever. Out of the way.
Okay. Sure. And I don't have Nozomi here, so I have to remember that.
Now then, to business. I'll chop you to pieces. How unsatisfying.
I can accelerate and get her into...
Let's do this! Full throttle! Here we freaking go! Hauling ass! Knocked it out of the park!
Leave it to me.
Perfect.
Are you okay?
I owe you one.
Appreciate it.
Ready whenever. Die! Broken so soup. Time for battle. Out of my way. Balance. Time to move. Die! Broke. Time for battle.
I've got this. Not bad. Good to go. Here. All right.
I'm good whenever. Take this. Leave it to me. Hi-ya! Let's keep it up. Ready when you are.
Is there anywhere where I can get 4?
Watch out! Locked and loaded! Take this!
Sure.
Understood.
Can I get like 3 in this? I do it like that.
Here goes. I'm fully prepared.
Ready when you are. There!
I'm
Okay,
good
yep.
whenever.
You can clean this up.
How's this? Locked and loaded. Take this.
Nice.
Now, do you understand that I would never betray you?
I shall reserve judgment until this entire battle is over.
Where's the commander?
That Quenzele guy?
He should be here any time now. Aha. Speak of the devil.
I am the paragon of repulsion, Quenzele. I'll be sure to make it agonizingly painful when I kill you. Go ahead, scramble for your ugly lives. You won't escape from me.
He's finally here, like moths to a flame.
Everybody, cover Kurata while she crafts the artillery.
Understood.
Got it.
Alright. Craft the artillery. Because heaven knows I'm not using you for anything else. Yeah. Unfortunately, Kurata is just the worst character in the game.
Good to go.
Okay. I thought she was good when we first started, but there's just too much
Time
wrong.
to move. I'll chop you to pieces. How unsatisfying.
Let's see. I'd honestly rather just get like, am I crazy?
Let's do this.
I'd rather just get
Harder.
this.
Let's
I
go.
don't know how good that is.
Ha! All right.
Rev it up! Yeah!
Okay.
Hauling
Can
ass!
follow it up with this.
Ha!
Nice.
Oh yeah!
I'm ready to go.
Okay, she can two-shot this.
You're in the way. Understood. I'm ready to
Doesn't
go.
look like, okay, that's after
Here
this.
goes.
Sure.
This is what you deserve!
I'm taking the wheel. Ah! We did it! Locked and loaded.
And I can
Let's roll. Leave
do
it to
this
me.
to both of these guys.
Shifting gears.
Thanks.
You can come
All
in
right. Let's get started.
and bop this guy in the head.
Die. Broken so soon.
And then that's 3 shots, so if I just
I'm taking the wheel. Don't try to stop me.
Now then, to business. I can hardly contain myself.
Leave it to me. Out of the way. I'm taking the wheel. Watch out. It's set.
Amazing.
Told you it wouldn't take long.
I'm goated.
And that's how a true lady slaughters her prey.
Okay.
Rev it up! Knocked it out of the park!
Light means I can
Here we go.
hit him with one of these, you know. That's good.
Ha! Say when.
Whoa, controller. Ah! It's been a while since it's done that.
Got it.
All right, let's get started. How's this? Ready whenever. Out of my way. How unsatisfying.
Leave it to me. Are you okay?
I owe you one.
Hauling ass! Full throttle! I'm all fired up! Rev it up! Oh yeah!
All right, let's get started. I'll chop you to pieces. Broken so soon. Time to move. Out of my way. How unsatisfying.
Here we go. That's it. Oh, let's do this. Yeah!
Now then, to business. All right, let's get started. I'm all worked up now.
Leave this to me. You're in the way.
Ready whenever.
Say when.
I'm ready to go.
I don't think I can kill it in one turn without spamming shit, but
Time for battle.
I could certainly try.
Take this. My turn. Die.
30. Lead, move down. You got everything.
I'm fully prepared.
I don't really know what else to do. I mean, it's 30's 2-minute shelf, so.
Take this.
Don't screw.
Like, you're dead as fuck this turn, though.
Ready whenever. chop you to pieces. Now then, to business. Out of my way. Broken so soon.
Let's do this! Let's freaking go! Yeah! Knocked it out of the park!
Alright.
I'm ready to go. Understood. I'll show you what I can do! I'm fully prepared. Die! Leave this to me. You're in the way. I'm ready to go.
Oh, we're 5 damage off. And 10% off. Is there any... Is there like a...
The wheel.
No, this wouldn't... Man. I just have to take another turn of punishment.
I'm fully prepared.
I lost too much blood.
Okay.
Good to go.
Understood. I'll kill them all at once!
Can't die! Not like this!
The pain. It hurts. Why do this? What has prompted this cruelty?
Serves you right, Quenzele.
You're... Ava. I noticed you were here a while back, but... Does this mean you've switched allegiances?
Yes. It's not as if I had any future in the Sovereign Army anyway.
Suddenly, Quenzele broke off and stared at something behind us.
Overlord Veshness!
What?
We all turned around at the same time, but...
Huh? There's no one there.
Don't tell me.
We turned back around, but it was too late. During those precious few seconds, the defeated commander had disappeared completely.
He got away?
How did you all fall for that?
Freaking coward!
I guess you could say that Quenzele has been... Quenzled.
Oh, I love her. Oh, we need some point. We need to spend those points, huh? After the battle, we split up to look for Ima. Took a while, but I eventually found him locked up in a cage.
Ima, are you alright? Hold on. I'll get you out now.
Mr. Samino!
I swung my sword down on the lock and it broke apart with a loud noise. I opened the door and quickly guided Ima outside, but then... I saw something flashing out of the corner of my eye right next to the cage.
A bomb?
Next moment... I instinctively grabbed Ima from behind. This snap action meant my body shielded Ima from the brunt of the blast. Scalding pain ripped through my back. I choked down a cry of pain and asked,
Ima, are you okay? Yes. But what about you? Yeah, don't worry about me. As long as you're fine.
Huh? Huh? Mr. Sumino? Mr. Sumino! Mr. Sumino!
Day 60. Day 50. Okay, sure, whatever.
Up and at 'em, troops! Time to rise and shine! Get ready for your 50th day of active service here at Last Defense Academy. That's right, folks, you're halfway there, like a lizard on a chair. You're stepped in blood so far, returning would be as tedious as to go o'er. There's no turning back now. In honor of the occasion, your commander would like to hand out some presents, but if you're hearing this recording, it means your commander is no longer with you. So, no presents for anyone today! Too bad, so sad. Try not to be mad.
I woke up to the expected sight of Nozomi sitting right in front of me. This time, she wasn't shocked at all. Instead, she looked at me with a gentle softness in her eyes.
Morning. You're awake now?
I didn't have to ask about the day since it was mentioned in the announcement just now.
It's day 50 today.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry about the feeding drips. We went to the second academy and brought a whole lot back.
Oh. Thanks as always.
You should thank the others too. They were the ones who actually got the drips, and I wasn't the only person taking care of you while you were out.
I sat up in bed. For some strange reason, I wasn't feeling any aches or pains. You seem fine physically. The truth is, your external injuries weren't as bad as they seemed. Which means the real reason I was out for such a long time was because of the fainting disease? I think so. Has anything changed? If you mean the murder cases, we haven't made any progress. Ima and Darumi are still denying they were working together. Tsubasa and I don't believe they did anything either, but the others... Oh, something else has changed though. Ima's been taking part in the defensive battles. What? You shielded him back at the enemy relay station, remember? He said he's joining the fight for you. I see. That said, he's still as reticent as ever, and hardly ever leaves his room otherwise. Who can blame him, though? Other than Tsubasa and me, everybody's suspicious of him. But he did say that he was willing to tell you and only you everything.
Huh?
Really? Yep, so go find him later, okay? Later? Were you expecting me to not act right now after what you just told me? I jumped up and dashed outside immediately. Mr. Sumino, first of all, thank you for saving me that day. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. Don't mention it, really. But I really want to hear from you with some answers. Ima nodded firmly. I was going to tell you everything after you woke up anyway. Not only because I owe you a debt of gratitude, but also because I'm now sure you couldn't have been the killer. Because the real killer would never risk his own life to save me like that. It is my deepest desire to find the person who killed my dear sister. And then smash their face in with a hammer over and over again, until there's nothing left of it. Yet I am but a detective's assistant. I do not deal well with deductions. So I've decided to entrust this earnest wish of mine to you. I have the utmost confidence that you have what it takes to bring the truth to light. I intend to do just that, as soon as I get some answers from you. Now, first of all, why didn't you kill Darumi? What? You think the killer is one of us, don't you? Yeah! When Kako's body was found, you and Darumi were the only ones not in the gym. Unless you were the killer. But that can't be, right? Of course not! If so, from your perspective, only one other person could have been hiding in the storeroom at that point in time. None other than Darmy. They didn't go smash her head in with a hammer until there was nothing left. Why not? Mr. Sumino, I see what you were getting at, and you are right. It was because I knew it was possible for someone else to have been my dear sister's killer. Because there's a hidden exit in that storeroom, right? He nodded slowly in response to my question. Opposite the cockpit section of the escape pod lay a heap of metal containers. When we moved the heap away, we found a large ventilation shaft. Is this it? Yes. It's big enough even for Takamaru and Moko to pass through. You are quite right. Have you ever gone inside before? No, sir. I stuck my head into the shaft but couldn't see anything in the pitch black darkness. When did you realize there was a storeroom here? About day 10, I would say. My dear sister found the entrance first. She was the one who brought me here. After that, we would secretly visit this place together whenever we had some free time. It became something like a secret hiding spot of ours. Why didn't you tell anyone? I did not tell you before because I thought you were my dear sister's killer. I did not tell the others because... Well, promise me you will not get angry. Yeah? Because my sister and I had intended to flee this place together in that escape pod. That's not possible. The door can't be opened manually. We thought we could do something about that by tinkering with the control system in the war room. I sighed and continued the conversation. You kept this place a secret even after Kako was murdered. If you told us about it, we'd be able to accept your assertion that Kako hadn't killed herself. I promised my dear sister that no matter what happened, I would never tell anyone about this place. She had tears in her eyes when she made me promise. I want us to live together in the Tokyo residential complex again. Just the two of us. But we have to get out of this place first. We'll be killed one day if we stay here.
Yeah!
Alright, let me deal with Oscar real quick. The great thing about not having expectations is that you can take a break 2 hours into your part 32 and no one cares. Alright, anyway. I believe I may have dropped the handkerchief at that time.
Huh?
When I was putting it back into my pocket after wiping my dear sister's tears away. This place was our sanctuary. We didn't want anyone else invading our space. Even after my dear sister lost her life. It felt like I would be desecrating her memory by allowing someone else in. That is why I told nobody. Large tears started rolling down Ima's cheeks, and I wordlessly held out his handkerchief to him. Ima accepted the handkerchief and clenched it tightly in his hand. He squeezed his eyes shut, and for a long time after that, his shoulders trembled nonstop. After Ima had calmed down, we climbed back up to the surface. Tsubasa was in the garage as usual when we stepped out inside, not outside. Ima, you're an unusual sight around here. Even more unusual than me being awake. I mean, I already heard about you from the Zomi. She's been going around telling everyone the news, you know. Anyway, what's up? Just wanted to know if there's a recon drone anywhere around here. With lights and cameras, if possible? Yes, but what do you need it for? It's kind of hard to explain. Can you just come with us? And bring the recon drone. We need it to solve the case. Tsubasa blinked a few times in quick succession at Ima's words. Alright, give me a sec. Uh-oh. If there's a ventilation shaft here, that means... I see how it is now. Yeah, exactly. If Kako was killed, the presence of this shaft makes everybody in the academy a suspect. Including the Sapers for Shoma's case. Including me, yet you still brought me here. Does that mean you trust me? Kind of, sort of. You don't sound very sure. I'll take it, though. Yeah, I can't believe it, Tsubasa. Okay, let's start. It's funny, because I suspected her during the killing game, but right now I'm just like, nah, it's not in her character at all. Thanks. We used the drone to investigate the ventilation shaft. As a result, we were able to make a few major discoveries. Right. In summary, this is what we've learned. First of all, the shaft bends in a zigzag shape a few times and extends toward the school building. It splits into a grid structure halfway and connects to different parts of the building. Anyone using this can basically exit from anywhere they'd like. However, the bends are extremely narrow and people our size can't possibly get through them. Only someone with a body the size of a small child could have gone through those bends. I'm more concerned about what we found halfway. Yeah, me too. This thing, right? This thing that got caught on a protrusion in the interior wall. Thankfully, we were able to retrieve it because I had the foresight to attach a robotic arm to the drone. It's a piece of cloth, right? A square green piece of cloth about 1 inch long. I looked at Ima, then Tsubasa. They looked back at me with wide, questioning eyes. It was apparent they hadn't yet realized the grave implication behind this. Maybe a certain incident had blinded them to the existence of that possibility. I put the piece of cloth in my pocket, looked them both in the eye, and said, Tell everyone to gather at the gym at 7 p.m. tonight. Huh? This is quite sudden. Please, just do it. Oh, my controller died? Ooh. I knew this could happen. Fuck, dude. So did... Alright, anyway, I have a theory, but I'll share it when I get back. Okay. So, I have a theory of who did it. They turn to look at each other. I don't mind. What will you be doing until then? Well, you'll see. I had enough proof to make my case, but I wanted just one more piece of key evidence. So I went to the back of the school, to the place where Shoma had been stabbed. I spent a few hours thoroughly investigating every nook and cranny. Before long, the sun set and my shadows started growing longer. It was at that time that I found something, a faint trace of blood on a corner of a rock. It was maybe 30 feet away from where Shoma had been stabbed. I didn't think blood from his injuries could have sprayed that far, which meant... I entered the gym at 7 p.m. sharp to find everybody already gathered there. Ava, you're here too? Yes, I haven't received an official release. I've been given Eito's room and do not have to sleep in the cage anymore. All credit goes to Takumi and Tsubasa. The remote detonator you suggested has allowed everyone to accept my presence with the greatest peace of mind. I duplicated the device and gave a copy to everyone. I'll pass you yours later, Takumi. No, I don't need one. That aside, what are we all here for? Well, you see. I turned my gaze upward and slowly lowered my head.
I figured out who killed Kako and stabbed Shoma.
I don't think the person stabbed Shoma. Because I think the person is Shoma. And how could he stab himself that many times? That doesn't make sense. But Shoma is the only person small enough to go through the vents, and he has green on his thing. Yeah, see? Alright, is this necessary? Mr. Sumino! Wait a minute, please! You just said with absolute certainty that my dear sister was indeed killed! Yes, the situation points to that fact. Who did it? Ima, I need you to promise me something first. Promise you won't lay a finger on the killer when you realize who they are. I won't tell you the truth unless you promise me that. Some gritting his teeth with a scowl on his face. Still, he nodded firmly and said, Fine. I promise that I won't lay a finger on that accursed scum.
Good. Alright. Much as I wish I didn't have to do this. Here goes. The person who killed Kako and stabbed Shoma. It was. The name of that person is...
I don't know what the blood has to do with it, though. The fact that it's so far away. But, like, Shoma's the only person who could have escaped, right? And, well, I mean, the game's pretty much telling us Ima didn't do it, and it's just not the army. I guess guessing wrong could give you a bad ending.
The real killer. You! Shoma Genzaki!
What are you talking about, Takumi? Have you forgotten that I was a victim too? I was stabbed!
Stop running your mouth, and just watch as I expose every last detail of your criminal wrongdoings from start to finish.
Oh, do we do a comic book? Oh no, it's just a persuasion shit. Whatever. I'll tell you what happened in chronological order. Let's start with Kako. Her estimated time of death is between 1 and 4 a.m. on day 27. You met up with her before that, on day 26. To tell her to come to the gym during that period of time. So she showed up at the gym as asked. Where you made up some reason for her to swallow that thing.
That thing? What thing?
I'm talking about TTX. Tetrodotoxin.
It's extremely poisonous. Ingesting just 1 to 2 milligrams is fatal. That's how you poison Kako to death. After poisoning Kako, you put the bottle of TTX into her right hand. Then you block the gym door using a mop as a latch, thinking you can make her death seem like suicide with all that nonsense. Once that was done, you climbed down the ladder at the corner of the stage into the escape pod storeroom. You already knew that shaft was there, because you'd seen Ima and Kako going into the trap door before. You did your homework and went down to check out the storeroom as well, before carrying out your plan. That's why you also knew about the ventilation shaft, and you used that vent to return to the school building. That's the main reason causing me to single you out as the culprit. The main reason?
Anyone could have used the ventilation shaft.
I can. Because of how the shaft bends in a zigzag shape and extends towards the school building.
The bends are extremely narrow. Only someone with a body the size of a small child could have gone through those bends. In other words, the only one who could have gone through those narrow bends is you, Shoma. You can't say that for sure. A girl who is flexible enough could have passed through as well, right? No, it's physically impossible. Anyway, there was something left behind in the ventilation shaft. That's what's going to serve as irrefutable proof of your guilt.
Irrefutable proof?
Here it is. This square piece of inch-wide green cloth.
Out of all of us, only Kurara, Takamaru, and Shoma wear something green on them. But Kurara's tomato mask isn't made of cloth, so this scrap can't be hers. The shade of green on Takamaru's jacket is less vibrant than the scrap, too. Shoma, turn around. Oh, why? Just do it. I just checked. Part of Shoma's backpack has been torn. The torn part perfectly matches this cloth scrap. Indeed, I too witnessed this and have concluded they are a perfect match. You couldn't have passed through the narrow bends of that shaft while still wearing your backpack. But you couldn't leave it in the shaft either. So you tied the shoulder straps to your feet and pulled it along as you climbed up. That's how the backpack got caught on a sharp edge protruding out of the inner wall of the shaft. This cloth scrap got torn up because of that. No, no, no! This is fake evidence planted by the real culprit. Someone's trying to frame me. If that was the case, why would that someone stab you? That one act would completely divert all suspicion away from you. Now this next part is all just conjecture. Shoma, you were actually intending to kill Ima as well, weren't you? That plan went awry because Kako showed up to the gym alone. So you had no choice but to kill only her. That made things difficult for you, because Ima knew about the storeroom as well. What's more, he also knew about the ventilation shaft. If he told anybody about the shaft, this would no longer be a locked room case. And if we pursued the case as a murder, we would eventually close in on you. So you wanted to kill Ima afterward. But it was almost dawn by the time you crawled out from the ventilation shaft. That left you with no time to do anything about Ima. So you panicked and started thinking about ways to remove yourself from the suspect list. That's how you ended up deciding to kill yourself. If you could make everyone think you had been mutilated by the culprit, we would never even dream of suspecting you. You're being ridiculous. This is way too bold a plan for someone like me.
Who would dare kill themselves just to make it seem like they were...
Of course. Actually dying was never part of your plan.
In fact, you were absolutely confident you wouldn't die, because we have the Revivomatic in the infirmary. Well, for that to work, you had to die in a way that allowed us to find your dead body quickly. After all, we wouldn't be able to revive you if too much time had passed. That's why he screamed, right? And right after the morning announcement, so that everyone could hear you. How would he stab himself that many times? That's... What is he, fucking Nagito? Jesus Christ. Then you stabbed yourself all over and temporarily ended your own life. I can't believe I'm listening to this. Please be realistic. No one in their right mind would willingly stab themselves that many times.
It just doesn't make any sense. We're not talking about cutting your...
Oh, I never thought of that.
No, it is possible.
I thought the anesthetic was used on Kako to make her ingest the poison. If you injected yourself with a powerful anesthetic, like gamma fuel. Remember what Yugamu said? With the proper dilution, the substance can numb the body's pain and emotional receptors without causing loss of consciousness.
Oh.
Yep, and I still stand by that. It does make sense. So you're trying to say I used that drug to do the deed, right? Well, where would I even find a drug like that? Probably stole it from somewhere.
Stole it from where?
From the biolab.
That room isn't locked and everyone has access to the shelves. Getting the drug from there wouldn't have been a problem for you. But what if it was on the top shelf? Alright. Assuming that I did inject myself with that anesthetic.
How did I get rid of the hypodermic needle afterwards? When you found me at the back of the building, was there anything like that on me? There wasn't.
You must have tossed it somewhere far away when you were done with it.
What about the knife? Where did the knife I used to stab myself disappear to? You tossed that far away as well, just like you did with the syringe. Did anyone find any of those things at the scene? No. Nobody searched the area nearby on day 27, the day of the incident. You could have collected those items the next day, on day 28, after you woke up. But still, you're just guessing at this point. You've got no real proof. No proof that I threw the knife away after stabbing myself. I do have proof. It's not with me right now, but I did find something. Okay. There was something some 30 feet away from where we found you.
What was it?
Airplane.
I saw bloodstains. Just a little patch on the corner of a rock.
In a place where blood from your injuries couldn't have reached. Those stains prove that the bloody knife had been thrown over there. That's enough already. It doesn't matter what you're trying to say because you have no solid proof.
The green cloth was the only piece of substantial evidence you managed to produce.
Yeah, we got a bluff.
It's time you stopped playing dumb, Shoma.
I do actually have another piece of conclusive evidence. What? The bottle of TTX Kako was holding. Your fingerprints were on it.
That can't be. It can't be. It just can't. It can't! My fingerprints can't be on that bottle. I was wearing gloves when I...
You fell for it.
No. That was just a slip of the tongue. I mean, it was just...
But why? Why would he do this?
Anyway, I'm not...
Give it up, Shoma. I'll say it again. The person who killed Kako by making her drink TTX. It was none other than you! Shoma Genzake!
Why? I still do not understand why. This makes no sense. From what we know about Shoma. Takumi, you got a few things wrong, but for the most part you were correct. It was me. I killed Kako. Grr. Back off, Ema. You promised. So, which parts did I get wrong? And the entire premise to begin with. I did not kill her of my own volition. And I was ordered to do so by a certain someone. Let's call this person X for now. Stop trying to make excuses for yourself! I'm telling the truth. Please believe me. Tell us more about this order you received. And just before dawn on day 26, I woke up to someone tapping my cheek. When I opened my eyes, X was there, right in front of me. You didn't lock the door? And I did. I think X was already hiding inside before I came in. Under the bed or something. What did X say? X said,
I killed Gaku, and intend to make you my next target. But I'll let you off if you follow my instructions.
Controller? Please?
If you go against me, or tell the others about my existence, I'll blow up the bomb inside your body immediately. Yes, the bomb planted in all of your bodies by that robot known as COA.
Just who is this X person? I don't know. They were wearing a long black poncho. They wore a mask over their face and used a voice changer to hide their real voice. That sounds like the fake stabber you made up to fool us! I mean, it's true that I wasn't stabbed by a person of that description, but that person definitely exists. What happened after that? I followed X's instructions. I didn't want to be killed the way Gaku had been. X came up with the entire plan. And they told me about the ladder shaft, escape pod hanger, and ventilation shaft. The tetrodotoxin. It was X who obtained that bottle of TTX2. And after that, I simply asked Kako to meet using the script X had prepared. What did the script say? To speak to her on the afternoon of day 26. Kako, I know about the storeroom with the escape pod too. And I did some research in the library and found a way to open the cockpit and launch the pod into space. So, would you like to escape from this academy together with me and Ema? If so, come with Ema to the gym tonight at 2 a.m. And the plan was to kill not just Kako, but Ema as well. Because they were the only other people who knew about the storeroom. Killing them both at the same time in a locked room would make their death seem like suicide. Yeah, and if they were both dead, that would be a lot more likely, huh? But only Kako showed up at the gym at the specified time, 2 a.m. Why? Kako said this. I haven't told my dear brother what you told me yet. First, I need to verify whether your information is authentic or not. If it's true, then we set off tomorrow. But keep it a secret from my dear brother, alright? I want to surprise him. And I hesitated to execute the plan because she had shown up alone. But X also told me,
If you chicken out and do nothing, I'll still blow you up.
So I passed Kako a water bottle mixed with TTX. Takumi more or less covered what happened after that until I returned to the school building. Except, I had not foreseen that my backpack would get torn along the way. And after returning to the first floor of the school building, I was at a loss because I didn't know what I was supposed to do about Ema. It was going to be difficult to kill him because the sun had already risen by then. Suddenly, X appeared again.
Ema probably knows about the ventilation shaft. If he spills the beans, they'll all know Kako didn't die in a locked room. They'll start investigating the case as a murder instead of assuming it was a suicide. The morning announcement will be playing soon. you won't make it back to the
So is this
infant
Ato
town.
then?
Somebody will realize you were
If you
out
kill
and
Ato, he just
about
fucking torments you
before dawn.
in the past?
But rest
Or,
assured,
you know.
for if you do as I say, you'll never even make it to the suspect list.
That's why you went to the back of the building and... Yes, I had been left with no other choice. But I was hesitant right up until the moment I injected myself with the gamma fuel. Once I did that, it was as if my sense of fear completely evaporated. X gave me the gamma fuel as well, along with a knife and syringe. I'm pretty sure X must have been the one to collect the knife and syringe that I dropped after I did the deed. Because I know I definitely didn't retrieve them. The story thus told, Shoma slumped his shoulders and bowed his head deeply. Silence that followed stretched on until Hiroko finally spoke up. I just have one last question, Shoma. Do the words back or heart ring any bells? Back or heart? No, I have no idea. Thank you. Your reaction was the answer I needed. I guess that's that, Takumi. Yeah. X must have done it, if Shoma wasn't involved in that particular affair. Everybody was looking at us in confusion. Probably because nobody knew that someone had stolen the hearts from the dead bodies. Then Shoma started trembling like a leaf, as if he suddenly remembered something. Oh no, that's it. I'm gone for. I told you about X. The bomb inside me is going to blow up now. Nothing's happening. Did this X person lie to you? I think they must have. An amateur can't possibly make a detonator for the bomb in our bodies. Only someone with my level of skill and experience. So Mr. Gonzaki won't be executed. Then I'll do it myself! I'll kill you! I'll tear you limb from limb! Ima let out a guttural roar and charged toward Shoma so quickly nobody had time to react. He shoved Shoma to the ground, clambered on top of him, and started strangling him so hard it almost seemed like he might rip his head off.
Go to hell! Ima, no!
I ran over in a panic and pulled Ima off. Shoma had fainted and was frothing at his mouth. Yugama darted over and conducted a quick check.
He's fine. Just passed out.
Damn it! Damn it! Dear sister! My dear sister! My dear sister!
After that heartbreaking outburst, Ima simply collapsed on the spot. Nozomi and Tsubasa rushed over and started comforting him. Everybody else was at a loss, simply staring quietly at Ima as they stood rooted to the spot. The sound of Ima's pained wails echoed coldly and endlessly through the walls of the building. We moved the unconscious Shoma into the cage in the courtyard and made sure it was properly locked. Once that was done, I shoved the key deep inside my pocket. Everyone returned to their rooms without saying another word. I soon found myself completely alone. Looking up at the night sky, I thought about what had happened. Kako's case had been solved, but that didn't mean it was all over. Someone out there killed Gaku and instructed Shoma to kill Kako. This was likely the same person who had been stealing hearts from the bodies in the morgue. X. The real mastermind behind this entire string of events. Had to find out who this person was by hook or by crook, and I would, no matter what I did. Clenched my fists tightly. I would let nothing shake me from this firm resolve.
Up and troops, time to rise and shine! Get ready for your 51st day of active service here at Last Defense Academy. Prepare to spend another day. Be ready to get...
Guys! Wake up! Something's happened!
Upon hearing that loud cry, I dashed out of my room. What happened? What's going on? I was up early, so I went to check on Shoma, and... Shoma, he... What happened to him? Just come with me, quickly! We all knew where we were going. Everybody made a mad dash for the courtyard together. We ran through the second floor hallway and burst into the courtyard, then ran toward the cage without stopping. There we saw...
Shoma!
Yoshika grabbed the gate and tried to open it.
It is still locked and will not budge.
Doesn't Takumi have the key?
Hold on, I'll unlock it now.
I dug the key out of my pocket and slotted it into the keyhole. Once the gate was unlocked, I opened it and went inside. I immediately ran to Shoma and touched his neck, checking for a pulse. At that moment, something felt a little off.
It's wet.
What?
I touched his clothes and they were wet as well.
Well, is he alive or not?
I already checked that. As you can clearly see, he's already...
Maybe we can still revive him if we bring him to the infirmary like last time.
Since I had touched a body, I knew already that too much time had passed. But I decided to go along with it anyway.
Yeah, we should try that.
Cause of death, hemorrhagic shock. Estimated time of death, day 51, between 2 and 5 a.m. Multiple stab wounds on the chest and abdomen. The murder weapon is likely a sharp blade about 8 inches long. Too much time has passed since death. Insufficient cryptoglobin present in body. Impossible to revive. After everyone had a chance to view the monitor, the mood in the room became heavier. The hell's going on? How'd the killer get to Shoma when the cage was locked? Takumi, did you lock your door last night? Yes, I did. Nobody could have stolen the key from me while I was sleeping. And I know I'm repeating myself, but that key is unique. It cannot be copied. Well, that narrows down the list of possible suspects to just Takumi, right? Don't you ever get tired of mindlessly repeating the same thing?
Hey!
Aren't we overlooking the other possibility? That he stabbed himself like before? This time in a way that would be impossible for us to revive him. I can't think of any other reason why he'd wind up dead in a locked cage in the middle of the night. Well then, who supplied him with the knife? It had to be X, right? If it was X, then they would have passed him some gamma fuel in a syringe. Yeah. Ain't no one strong enough to keep mutilating yourself like that without being drugged the hell out of their mind. He could have used one of the bottles that had been stolen previously. We moved Shoma's remains to the morgue. There were now 4 bodies lying on tables there. At Ima's request, we made sure that Kako and Shoma's bodies were not placed next to each other. Ima walked to Shoma's dead body and stared at it for a long time. Then he said, You got what you deserved. After that, we investigated the courtyard together. Despite combing over every inch of the area, we found no trace of a knife or syringe. The only thing we found was... a balloon. It was lying on the floor near Shoma's cage. Although I couldn't immediately figure out if it was related to the case, I decided to stuff it into my pocket, just in case. Soon, the last rays of sunlight disappeared into the horizon and the darkness of night took over. It was already way past dinner time. Seeing that none of us had an appetite after all that, we skipped the cafeteria and gathered at the rec room instead. This makes it 3 people who have lost their lives because of X. We don't know for sure if X had anything to do with Shoma's case yet. Of course they did! We'd all be in serious trouble if it wasn't X! Because that would mean there are 2 killers of X's caliber running around free! So, who do you think X might be? Everyone fell silent. This was the question I was dreading the most. It seemed like the others felt the same. Ever since Shoma shared his side of the story last night, we'd all been avoiding that particular issue. But it was time to face reality. I steeled myself and turned to Tsubasa. Tsubasa, do you still have the organic life detection device? Yes.
Oh.
12. The exact same number as the people present here. That means... somebody among us is X. No, wait. It could have been someone who came in at midnight and left the school before the sun came up. Sadly, that's not possible. This device comes with a history log. At 4 a.m. last night, the number changed from 13 to 12 and stayed there. So sure, Shoma was murdered at 4 a.m. last night. Huh? Yeah? Miss Magadori, we are discussing something more important here. The number reduced by 1 when Shoma lost his life, but after that, it neither went up or down. Proving that nobody came into the school or left it, right? Yes. Thing is, we're all screwed if we don't do something! X threatened to kill us all in that message, and they're doing just that! The more we put this off, the more people will be dropping dead one by one! Well, I agree with the part about doing something, at least. Hey, Takumi, you're the leader! Come up with something! Maybe. How about we make it compulsory to move around in groups of at least 3 during the day? Didn't someone mention before that 3 is a risky number? That was because your 2 other teammates could be working together. But the situation has changed. According to Shoma, X is just 1 person. That's right, so a group of 3 should be fine. What about at night? Feels like that's the main thing. So far, all of them were taken out at night. Then we should. Phew. Done and done. Are we all going to be sleeping here from now on? How bland and boring. Getting evacuation center vibes here. Would you prefer bland and boring or dead in a ditch? We've used curtains to divide the area up into rooms, so everyone will have some semblance of privacy. Is this really going to work? What if the killer strikes while we're all sleeping? In fact, that's why we've avoided sleeping in one spot until now, right? Yes. That's why I'm thinking of having a sentry system. 3 people will be on watch at all times. We'll also rotate 1 person out every hour. And if anything happens, just shout. That's reassuring. Now I can get a good night's rest. My skin will thank me. Looks like we're agreed then. This arrangement should stop X from causing further harm. We should be safe for a while. Now we just have to continue our investigation and expose X's identity before they tried anything else. There was just one other thing that was bothering me. Shoma was killed today. I saw his body with my own eyes, which meant... Oh my god.
Up and at 'em, troops! Time to rise and shine!
That's where we're stopping today. The game's not going to give me a stopping point, so I just have to fucking make my own, I guess. We're already at day 75, which is fucking crazy, by the way. Well, we got our killing game, I guess. It's not even in the killing game route. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.